Hello everybody, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys a deck list for a Garchomp Koraidon, a list that I always thought was kind of an interesting kind of Garchomp. But this one we actually get to take advantage of the new Koraidon X, which has a pretty good attack in the second one here that for 2 fighting and a fire does 280 and then you do 60 to yourself. So this alongside Garchomp X, which actually came out in Paradox Rift, but hasn't seen much play, which I was kind of surprised by because this card, honestly, seems like it has a lot going for it, right? It has a 1 energy attack, it does 160, and you attach up to 3 basic energies from your discard, or basic fighting energy from your discard pile to your bench Pokemon, and then a attack for 2 Carlos, which you discard 2 energy from it, but then you do 120 snipe. That, along with free retreat and 320 HP, there's a lot of good things about this card. And I've always felt like it's going to have its time at some point, in my opinion, just because the stats on this card are really good. But now with this new Koraidon, we actually get to pair it up with, which just gives us a really efficient one-shot option. Before this, we had to play like Lucario from Brent Stars, I think, that like had like Wrong Resolve, or you could play it with the Groudon from Paradox Rift. Nothing was really that good. Combined with the fact that Miraidon is really good right now. There's a lot of things that just make this card not that good right now, but it has a lot of things going for it. And Koraidon EX, being able to power up this Koraidon, I think is a really big selling point now. This Koraidon is really, really good. You have a lot of HP, just naturally. You can increase it with some tools and then a really strong one-shot attack. As well as the first attack, actually, for 2 Carlos, you do 20 damage and then 10 more for each damage counter on you. So also not a bad attack option either. I just want to go ahead and showcase this list. So the first thing you might notice about the list is that our ace spec, or the second thing, I guess, the first thing you probably notice is that it's a Garchomp deck. But the second thing is actually the Neo Upper Energy in this list over Prime Catcher. Which there is definitely 100% a argument to be made to play Prime Catcher. Prime Catcher is so broken, but I wanted to build a deck that can kind of utilize this card because I think it is pretty interesting. So yeah, Neo Upper Energy is of course an ace spec, so it is going to be taking over the ace spec slot over Prime Catcher in this list that I've built. But what's attached to a Stage 2 Pokemon, it provides 2 Rainbow Energy, which is a pretty strong effect, especially in this list. I am playing this Garchomp from Burnt Stars. That has the Sonic ability that when the turn you put it into play, it takes no damage from attacks, which is pretty decent, combined with an attack that for 2 energy, a water, and fighting, you do 160 and discard the top 2 cards of your deck. So Garchomp, Sonic Slip combined with that Iono to low is a pretty decent option in my opinion, especially with this new upper energy that we can utilize to power that attack in just 1 attachment. I think is a pretty strong effect. Not only that, but the upper energy can also be applied to our Garchomp EX, so we can use Sonic Dive for just 1 energy attachment as well, which is pretty decent. So I think there's a lot of things to be said about playing this in a Garchomp deck, but that also, like, Prime Catcher is just so good. But let's get to the rest of the list. We have a Barrel Engine here. Industrial Society is obviously pretty good. And then 2 other support Pokemon are going to be our Lumineon, V, and Greninja. The interesting thing about Lumineon is that we're actually playing a Luminous Energy here, which if it is the only special energy attached to a Pokemon, it provides any type of energy. And this is useful not only for our Koraidon, because it will provide a fire if we need it to, but it also can provide a water for our Garchomp, so we can attack with Dragon Blade even if we don't have access to our Neo Upper Energy. And you can even attack the Luminous Energy to our Lumineon to actually Aqua Turn it back in the deck, which is pretty decent as well. You can Hydrolander a couple fighting energies onto this Lumineon, and then attack with Aqua Turn if you need to. 120 damage is pretty decent, combined with 160 from Hydroland, that's 280. That's getting a lot of key knockouts, so there's something to be said there. And then, of course, a Radiant Greninja, which we need for getting energy in this discard pile for our Hydrolander on our Garchomp EX. Our supporters is, I think, pretty standard. We have 4 Irida, which Garchomp EX is actually a Terrastallized water Pokemon, so it allows us to Irida for this and Rare Candy, which is pretty nice to get a consistent Tier 2 Garchomp using Hydrolander. As well as searching our deck for an item. If we already have candy, it's really helpful for getting our Earthen Vessel to get some more energies down, etc. We have 3 copies of Iono, which is just a kind of staple card. 2 copies of Arven. I have decided to include a kind of like mini Arven package here with 2 Arven, Blue Lumineon, and then also a Technical Machine Evolution and a Forest Seal Stone here. These 2 can be fetched with Arven. It's a pretty good use. The Evolution, which can be used to evolve into our Gabites as well as a Barrel. Kind of like the thing that Evozar did, where it evolved its attacker and then also its Thronge at the same time, which is pretty strong. But we're not going fully into it. We only have 2 Arven, but we can Lumineon for the Arven if we need to, which I think is pretty strong. And then also we have a Bravery Charm and a booster capsule split here, which I have decided to go for. Originally, I had 2 Berry Charm, but I realized there wasn't actually that many Pokemon in our deck that actually can effectively use it very well, and we can use it to survive Greninjas if we need to on our Gibbles, but honestly, I didn't really feel like it was going to be putting in that much work. You also actually Luminion, but I decided to just include 1 instead of 2, and then over the second one, play a booster capsule instead that will buff our Koraidon to 290 instead of 280, which is after we do 6 to ourselves with our attack. Going down to 230 HP is a lot better than going down to 220, because 220 is a key number that a lot of decks are going to be hitting. I think that is pretty important math there. We also have 1 copy of Town Store to search out these 1-up tools as well, which is pretty good. And then our other item cards is going to be kind of standard search for Nustball, for Ultra Ball, for Candy, pretty standard. 3 Earthen Vessel, because energies are important in this deck. 2 copies of Switch, which I could see going down to just if you want to add the Prime Catcher, cutting a Switch, obviously cutting this, and then instead of this playing a second Luminous Energy and then playing 1 Switch, 1 Prime Catcher, I think would be the way to go. If you want to play the Prime Catcher over the Neo Upper Energy. And then the tools I already mentioned. And our energy is 7 basic fighting energy. Of course, we need to get those so we can actually attack with Hydrolator and accelerate them into play. 2 fire energy, which we need to attack with our Koraidon. Then we have no way to accelerate fire energy, so we will have to be manually attaching the fire energy to the Koraidon. But we have Earthen Vessels to search those 2 out, so it shouldn't be too difficult to go ahead and find them. 1 copy of Luminous Energy, like I mentioned, just already its applications, and then the Neo Upper Energy, which I think is a pretty cool inclusion in this deck. And yeah, that's going to be the list, guys. If you guys liked it. Oh, I forgot to mention, I actually did take inspiration from this deck from a Japanese YouTube channel. I will go ahead and link their video down below. So you can go ahead and check out that video on their channel. And yeah, that's going to do it for the video, guys. If you guys liked it, don't forget to like. If you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. And then I'll see you guys in the next one.